Hey friends, welcome to Inktober Day 30, 2018. Today's prompt is, I've started baking gourmet cakes with bubbles, peonies, and fancy fruit flakes. That's it. That's the prompt. I'm going to say straight up, I just got back from the movie theater, an impromptu visit to the movie theater at 12 noon, and I saw A Star Is Born. We're going to talk about that in a hot second, but if I come across any kind of, emotionally distraught, I am. The movie moved me, it disturbed me, it made me cry, I had to leave the theater quickly. We'll talk about it in a second, but I just wanted to mention before we get into the piece, this is a piece where the tiers of the cake are kind of stacked a little wonky, and this is actually from a tutorial that I put in Playtest Patreon earlier this summer when we did the birthday swatch dolls. So if you were a part of Playtest Patreon, you can totally learn how to do this in the birthday swatch dolls tutorial. In essence, it's exactly the same thing that I used for the teacups when I did the prompt about Daisy trying to catch the butterfly spice. So if this is something you're looking to recreate, then anyone in the Playtest Patreon experience will have access to that video. It is the birthday swatch dolls video. I have a Patreon recap coming up tomorrow as well. It is super long, super chatty. It is, I think, 51 minutes long. So girl, grab yourself a hot tea, grab a crumpet, grab a bag of M&Ms, whatever you need to get through. It's long and it is very candid. It comes from both sides of the spectrum, being a Patreon creator and also being a patron. It also comes from a place of having done a lot of research before I even entered the space, because I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to figure out what I'm talking about. It's just the nature of what happens on YouTube. I can't deny I do the same thing. Whenever it seems like anyone's trying to spill the tea, I'm always like, who is that? Who is that? Where did you come from? But ultimately, there is absolutely no specific person that I'm talking about. Even the only person I throw under the bus is myself. So it might just be fun to watch for that. But I did do a lot of research beforehand, so I didn't preface that in the video, but from all the experience that I had talking to people that have run Patreons and talking to people that have been pledged to Patreons, there was a lot of insight that I got from that as well, that I took into the experience. It's all wrapped up in that video tomorrow, and honestly, I think it's only going to be relevant if you care to know how it went, or if you're looking to start a Patreon for yourself and you want to know a bit about what goes down in Patreon. So check that out tomorrow, super long, and tomorrow will also be the last day of Inktober, so hopefully you've enjoyed the pieces coming out so far. Tomorrow's the last one, so if this is upsetting to you, then I'm sorry. I'm really happy about it, because I think it's really nice to wrap things up. It's always really nice to put a little bow on something and send it out into the world with love, and I feel like that about Inktober. I've already put the video together for tomorrow, but I'm thinking now I should do a bit of a montage at the end of all the pieces, or perhaps I should film a flip through where I read the story as I flip through it, kind of like I was reading a children's book. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'll go with the second version and just make it a separate video. I'm really unclear about what my upload schedule is going to be like for YouTube for the next couple of weeks. In full transparency, I have the Patreon video for tomorrow and your last Inktober video tomorrow. The only other video I think I might get around to filming is that flip of all the images and doing the book reading, but I just don't know if I'll be filming content for when I'm away. I would like to think that I will. I don't know what the content will look like if I do, but I just wanted to put that out there in case you were getting a little nervous for that. Not that I'm sure anyone would, but yeah, I know I'm definitely not filming while I am away, but I'll be on Instagram, like I'll be around on social media, but I don't know what the upload schedule will look like for those couple of weeks while I'm gone, because I am just really looking to take a rest and really recharge and energize, fill up the well, all that good stuff, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, let's talk about why I am emotionally disturbed. A Star Is Born. Now, I've never seen any of the originals. I know this is a remake, and I don't even know the story. Like, I didn't know anything about it before I went in, except I saw a lot of press junket, like media footage, from Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Now, I've listened to all the songs, and I belt the songs at the top of my lungs looking at the computer screen every day, so I was very familiar with the music, and I had kind of an idea that things were going to get dramatic because a lot of people's reaction to the movie was, that they were crying. And I thought, well, now that I know people are crying, I'm probably not going to, because, there's the expectation that I'll be moved, and a lot of people were saying that as well. People that didn't like it were, people just don't like it because maybe they don't like her voice, or they just don't like her, or maybe they just didn't like the story. But some people were saying like, oh, well, because if people expected me to cry, I didn't. And I thought, oh, that's totally me. I'm so like that. It's so annoying. I wish I could just suspend all disbelief and still get into it. But, once the expectation's there that I'm going to show emotion, it usually doesn't come out. So I didn't expect to go in there and be kind of moved by any of it, but oh my goodness, at the end of it, I was sobbing. And I didn't want to make a noise because I was there by myself. I had bought food, like I brought 3 people with me, but, there wasn't enough popcorn in the world to keep me not from bawling my eyes out. I just bawled my eyes out, and I felt that lump in my throat. I couldn't speak, I couldn't breathe, and my nose was all mess, like my whole face was wet, and then it started dripping onto my clothes. And I was so embarrassed because I was there by myself, and I also had so much food, like it was just kind of embarrassing. And it was noon in the middle of the day. P.S. $5 ticket. I had no idea that it was so much cheaper just to go in the middle of a random weekday. Only doing that from now on. Oh, maybe because it's Tuesday. Cheap Tuesday? Do they do that here? I think that's the thing in Australia. I think even in Cheap Tuesday in Australia, it's like $20 to go to the movies. I swear the last time I went with my sister, it was about $50 for the both of us, which I think is extortion. And the movies come out later. They zone movies, and Australia always gets them like 6 months later. Well, not always, but there's some where you just have to wait for so much longer. I don't know why they do that. Maybe because our seasons are different? Like some movies have to be a summer movie? I don't know. That's an interesting thought. I've never looked into it, and I've never cared to know about it. All I used to know is that whenever I tried to use a DVD that a friend had borrowed or I brought to the States, it wouldn't work because the zoning restrictions. I think Australia's Zone 4 and America's Zone 1, or maybe it's switched. Not quite sure. Either way, hope you enjoy the prompt as it comes to life. I hope you enjoyed my stupid little story about bawling my eyes out. I mean, I hightailed it out of that theatre because I didn't want anyone to see me, and as soon as the credits rolled, it was still so quiet, and I knew that other people were teary and like kind of crying, but I don't know if anyone else reached the emotional depth that I experienced. So I had to hightail it out of there, get in the car, zoom home, and do this voiceover, and to share that story with you because I thought it was too funny. I actually, as I came into the house, I said hello to the cats and my voice broke because there was so much emotion stored up in my throat. I was like, I'm younger. It was so funny, and they were both super sweet to me. Maybe they could just sense it. Cats are good like that. I know dogs are better like that, but these cats are good like that. Anyway, what else? I was supposed to tell you about something else. What was it? Ugh, I'm really annoyed. I think it was fun. It obviously wasn't that fun because I can't remember it. Any case, I just wanted to... Oh, I guess just talk about this. Oh, you know what I just found out on... Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. This is so dumb. Why was I even saying this was good? The cake... I've been really into watching this guy called Joshua John Russell. Don't ask me how I know. But he does a series. I think they used to work for Craftsy, and now it's called Blitzy? Is it called Blitzy? No, it's so not called that. It's called Blueprint. What's Blitzy? I don't know where that came from. I think that's a website. Is it a craft store? No, that's Blick. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Anyway, so whatever, their company got absolved or something and they became Blueprint. Anyway, he's got a channel called Man About Cake, and he just makes birthday cakes, and I've been super into it and contemplated like making a full-on stacked, tiered birthday cake, but it's never going to happen. It's just another YouTube channel that I've been watching. I remember, didn't I tell you a few days ago or something that I was watching the Soap Woman? The Royalty Soaps channel? I've been on some weird channels lately. Pardon me. I mean, not weird. They're not weird because they are weird. It's just weird for me to be on there because it's not like a typical interest of mine to care about soap or cake, really. I mean, I love to watch them being made, but I don't really like to eat cake. Is that odd? Everything's odd. I'm in a bad place right now. This movie has just really moved me. Anyway, oh, speaking of YouTube, has anyone clocked onto this latest drama with poor Nikki Tutorials? She put out a series. Nikki Tutorials is a big beauty guru, like massive following. I think she's got one of the biggest followings for all beauty gurus, and so she does lots of tutorials. She's like an OG kind of tutorial makeup artist girl, and I don't know how else to explain it, but you know what I mean, like a big YouTuber. Pardon me. And she did a series this year called Halloween. I think she's done it before, to be honest. But this year she did this series, and she said she was going to upload one video every day for 7 days. And now people were just getting so mad, like just out of nowhere, because they thought she was doing too many skull looks, because she was kind of making them up on the fly. And I was like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, if she wants to do 7 skulls, she can do that. She never promised whatever. But then people really started clocking her, because she uploaded a video 2 days late, and she hasn't uploaded the last video yet. And people have come down on her like a ton of bricks, let me tell you. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I think it's a really interesting thought. This happens at any level, right? So at YouTube, like here I am thinking that it's only people that that we all go through different kinds of issues, like, you know, major beauty guru people, they don't have to worry about people getting upset about their upload schedule, but they have to worry about, you know, $40,000 contracts with sponsorships and not disclosing brand deals and stuff like that. And that's something that we don't worry about as smaller YouTubers, but just to know that she faces the same issue that we face, I'm like, oh, see, there's justice in it all. And to be fair, I don't think that people should have come down on her that hard. I do understand, in essence, why people get frustrated by promising an upload schedule, and it's why I always give myself a get out of jail free card, unless I know for a fact, like when I say, oh, I'm doing Inktober, I know I'm going to be able to do all the videos, otherwise I would never promise it. But the fact that, like, you know, if you tell someone you're doing something or you promise it, people start to get really mad all of a sudden, and I understand it because it feels a bit like a bait and switch. It's like when when a store promotes that they're going to have this new sale item and everyone's so excited for it, and you go and it's not there. Or they just decide to put it in 2 days later after you've, you know, set aside time, you've been excited, you maybe saved money for it. It's kind of different because, I mean, YouTube videos are free, so at the end of the day, I don't think people should be too entitled to it. But I do understand where people start to feel a bit disrespected because, you know, they invest a lot of time and energy and they don't want to feel like their favorite creators just kind of take advantage in that way. But, you know, it is an issue, big or small, I guess. That's what I learned from it, and I'm just kind of watching that drama unfold. I'm definitely going to watch that drama unfold well into the night. There's only one drama YouTube video about it thus far, and I'm sure there'll be more. Probably not. They've got bigger things to worry about. That whole community is kind of up in flames, isn't it? It's terrible. I know I shouldn't enjoy watching stuff like that, but it's more because I like to watch the conflict resolution. I try to learn a lot from it and try to know how to, because I think it's really helpful to navigate any of these issues should I come up against them in the future, or even now, like there's, you know, you just kind of scale it down a little bit. Like there's no courts involved, but how did this person handle this, and how did they get past this or through this kind of issue? So I do kind of use it as a, you know, not just some like guilty, you know, Real Housewives of my craft room indulgence, but I do kind of watch it to try and learn something. But yeah, just following that drama, too funny. It's so funny too because you know, maybe it happened today, maybe it happened last night. I only saw the video like just before, a couple of hours ago. Did I? No, I just watched it. Oh yeah, I watched it when I came home. So I only just saw this video, but there's a very similar issue that I talk about tomorrow in that really long and chatty Patreon video about that bait and switch and how it can cause problems and why it can be an issue beyond just people being a little upset. It kind of breeds into this culture that I noticed in my time on Patreon. So that's kind of one of those candid parts of the little video that I'm a little bit nervous for. I hope I did a good job in prefacing where I was coming from. At the end of the day, it is just an opinion video, just like most of them are. So I don't know if anyone could be too upset, but you know, it's the internet. You always got to kind of be a bit wary. Leery? Wary. On guard. I don't know what I want to say. My brain's so fried right now. Like, I've just been crying too much to think straight. But yeah, that Patreon video is coming up tomorrow, and it is super candid. But like I said, all personal experience. To be honest, the person I throw under the bus is me. So if you're looking to extract something out of it, it's probably not going to be a fun video for you. But it was a great experience, and I'm just excited to share some of the pros and cons, and hopefully help you out if you want to start Patreon, or if you're on Patreon and want to know how it works, or if you just wanted to know a bit more about the experience. Hopefully it is super helpful to you. So that'll be up tomorrow, as well as the last Inktober video. Hope you had a fun time watching this one. Until tomorrow, I'm going to go and sing my face off. A Star is Born. Bye.